KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson and the Adahi Tano Program. Cars Plus, home of Guam's first and only lifetime limited powertrain warranty. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurants, always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Now on Prime Time, certain businesses are able to reopen a day earlier than expected, with the governor declaring pandemic condition of readiness level 2. Plus, the public health director answered several questions from senators during a virtual oversight hearing this morning. And the Guam Department of Education receives $54 million in relief funding from the U.S. Department of Education. If you're joining us worldwide through Facebook or YouTube or watching us on Guam on KUM TV 8, I'm Jason Salas and we welcome you to Prime Time. And of course, before we get to tonight's headlines, another one of our frontline heroes.
Today, we are proud members of the Joint Task Force 671 team, serving the people of Guam in this COVID-19 fight. We are in this together, and you can help us win this war. Please
wash your hands and stay home.
Now, they're all at parade rest, but we know that their dedication to our island will never rest, and we thank them and all of our frontline heroes for your tireless dedication to keeping us safe. Thank you, NC Dios Masi. All right, now to your headlines. Call it a Mother's Day gift for the island as Governor Lulian Guerrero announced that the reopening of the economy will come a day early than expected this Sunday. Nestor Lecanto has details.
The infection rate data over the last week, says the governor, is good enough to give her the confidence to declare P-Core 2. That means, along with the essential businesses that have been in operation throughout the COVID crisis, many other businesses can restart, such as malls, shopping centers, and other retail outlets. They have agreed to adhere to public health's now familiar safety measures to protect both customers and employees, such as wearing masks, washing hands, and maintaining social distancing. But in allowing them to open back up, the governor says businesses must police themselves.
I'm confident that our business community will not jeopardize or risk any more of this coronavirus infection, and so they will self-regulate and self-police themselves. I also think that people will also do it, only because they also don't want to have to again start all over with this battle of reinfection with coronavirus.
But even as businesses reopen, it will be a while, possibly a long while, for the economy to recover, which means companies and individuals will need to tighten their belts. But what about GovGuam?
This is our time to look at what we can be and can do for in terms of efficiency and effectiveness. So we're not in, it's not a major attention right now because we are involved with all these other issues, but we have started looking at what we can do to make a more efficient government.
The government offices will also start reopening next week in phases, with those dealing directly with businesses among the first. For a complete list of the businesses that will be open, you can check our KUAM website and social platforms. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
And when our island community does reopen next week, as the governor noted, public health will likely have to rely on businesses to police themselves in meeting the safety criteria to protect against coronavirus. In a wide-ranging virtual oversight hearing today, your elected senators asked Environmental Health Chief Tom Nadeau about his division's capacity to properly inspect.
Historically, the division has always been underfunded, and we've never been able to meet our mandates. I've been working with the division for close to 30 years, and I don't recall a period when we had sufficient funding. It's just something that's been an ongoing issue with the division. And as the directors mentioned, we are almost 100% locally funded, so that alone is a challenge.
Federal grants are available, but they're limited as far as specific amounts and programs. The oversight hearing was meant to be brief senators on the status of current agency budget and CARES Act funding to support surveillance, contact tracing, testing, and food, health insurance, and housing assistance for the vulnerable population. Elsewhere tonight, Public Health Director Linda Pinco DeNorsi also answered several other questions from senators during that virtual oversight. It was held on Zoom this morning. Senators read local statute giving DeNorsi, who is Guam's public health authority, special powers when a public health emergency is declared. But is she really in charge? It's the first time that Dorsey has spoken publicly after allegations surfaced that her digital signature may have been used without her knowledge.
Those special powers include access to control of facilities and properties, use of healthcare facilities, control of materials, roads, and public areas. As public health authority, she also has special powers to not only quarantine and isolate individuals, but also to establish and maintain those facilities. During the oversight hearing, it was asked by senators about her role in procurement and whether her digital signature was used in documents related to quarantine and isolation facilities.
Do you have any role in the procurement of quarantine facilities?
I don't. I know my power is here. That is possible, but I have not done any procurement with those. No.
According to documents obtained by KUAM via a Freedom of Information request and confirmed by Governor Lulian Guerrero during a press conference, the governor said her legal advisor, Haig Hune, was in fact in charge of negotiating for the quarantine isolation facilities. One of those facilities was the Pac Star in Tumon. Coming into question, a document containing Dorsey's digital signature.
Is your signature required on contracts for the quarantine facilities?
As far as I know, the only thing that I sign, I want to say that I have not done any signatures in any of the contract facilities, no. But is my signature required according to the law? From what I'm reading, I guess the power relies on that part, but I'm not involved in it.
All right. Was your signature used without your consent on one of these procurement documents for quarantine facilities?
It was not a procurement document from what I know. It was from what I was looking at after I went to examine. It was for the letter for non-congregate shelters. And that is for isolation and quarantine facilities. So it's just a letter that had to be done so that we can bring that letter, so that we can get it up to Homeland Security, so that they can do the letter that is required by a public health entity, such as myself.
Going back to that contract again, I just want to be specifically clear in my mind. Director, did you authorize anyone in the governor's legal office to use your signature on March 18 designation letters to the hotels, please?
At the time, usually when I have my electronic signature, it is they call me, and so when they call me, they will ask, what information needs to be released, and so when they did that, for that. The one they were talking about was the letters for the congregate shelter. It was just a letter that says the use of the properties, right, for the isolation and quarantine. At the time I got the call, I don't recall the call. However, as I mentioned earlier, it was a time where I don't recall the call, and that's the truth that I want to share.
What she can recall is that although she is Guam's public health authority and in charge of the island's COVID response, she's not in charge of handling procurement.
So are you saying you relinquished that public health authority, or you're not the person dealing with the facility leases?
I'm not the person that deals with the facility leases in this particular COVID-19.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas Matinani.
All right, Bree, thanks so much. In other news tonight, a deputy director has been hired for an agency that hasn't had a second in charge for years. Adriana Cotero's got her next report, in which she notes that the new hire is getting paid almost $80,000 a year and was not only hired in a non-essential agency, but also hired during the agency's battle against coronavirus.
A deputy director has been hired at the Department of Integrated Services for individuals with disabilities. KUAM News obtained through a Freedom of Information Act documents which show Michelle L.C. Perez was hired on as deputy at the agency, even though it has been closed as part of the governor's COVID non-essential business and GovGuam closures. The doc shows she was hired in April.
How do you justify filling this non-essential political hire position, or if you could just explain it, especially while thousands in the private sector have been either laid off, furloughed, or had their hours cut?
So my recollection is we hired the deputy of DISIT before the COVID crisis.
Documents we obtained through a FOIA sent to the Department of Administration shows that Perez was hired on April 27th, but with an effective date of April 13th. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero says that's not what she recalls.
Because I have my recollection that this individual, I know because I interviewed this individual since last year. And I think I'm not too sure whether we hired this individual in December or January, but it was definitely before March 14th. It may be a processing thing, you know, I don't know, but I do know that we made the decision to hire the person because I was involved with Phyllis in hiring that individual. So it may be a process thing. I'm not sure.
DISIT has been closed since March, but Adelup Policy Director Carlo Branch said Perez, along with DISIT Director Phyllis Leon Guerrero, are currently earning 15% COVID differential pay because they are one of several other GovGuam staffers and cabinet members working on rotation at GovGuam's quarantine facility at the Pacific Star. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
KUAM News has since learned Perez resigned on April the 10th from the Guam Department of Education, where she worked at Ukadu High as a special education transition coordinator. Senator Kelly March-Tide, in other words, wants some clarity on how it was determined which agencies would get a cut of the $118 million in CARES Act funding given to Guam for COVID-19. This week, Adelup provided a budget proposal showing how it would spend the money. $20 million would go to small businesses, with an equal amount going to help other businesses. The rest would cover costs and expenses, while others would fund agencies to enable them to telecommute. Some of the agencies include funding for the Guam Public Library System and the Hagåtña Restoration and Redevelopment Authority.
I want clarification on how they prioritized the needs. Why are some essential entities there, but others are not? Why are some non-essential entities there, but others are not? What was the criteria? Did they offer this opportunity to everyone? We have other parts of my oversight that have high public traffic areas, like the museum. We have vulnerable staff, like the Commission ni Fino Tomorrow, which are all SINA, right? And yet I don't see them on this listing. So I really want that full explanation as to what was the criteria and why is it like this?
The freshman policymaker, in a letter penned to the governor, writes that if there are legitimate reasons for these purchases or this spending, it is important for reasons of transparency that this information be provided to the legislature and the community in general. Well, Guam DOE has received $54 million for emergency relief funding from its federal counterpart. U.S. DOE Secretary Betsy DeVos sent a letter to GDOE Superintendent John Fernandez announcing the award. The federal dollars are from the island's Education Stabilization Fund award that's part of the more than $153 million allocated to the outlying areas under the CARES Act. As a state education agency, GDOE will disperse $41.5 million of the fund to both public and non-public schools and $12.5 million to be allocated to the governor for further education support. The funding may additionally be used to address health and safety needs during the pandemic, and before submitting the finalized application to DOE, Fernandez is reaching out to education stakeholders for their input. Also tonight, leading medical supplier across the South Pacific Islands, MedFarm, removed an alleged fraudulent COVID supply item, SDS blocker. The federal law enforcement officers executed a search warrant at MedFarm's warehouse locations in both Guam and Saipan earlier this week. And according to the medical wholesaler, the SDS blocker was marketed and sold to the company as an over-the-counter item by a local distributor. MedFarm President Renee Ramos said, quote, "We take these matters very seriously and we are cooperating fully with all authorities." He also said once they were informed by the federal authorities that the product supplied by a local distributor did not meet federal standards, immediate action was taken and the product was removed from inventory. The warrant was not related to any other items or operations involving the company. Well, please stay tuned. Primetime will continue right after this.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Gila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
During these uncertain times, it's important to remember that we are in this together.
The KUAM insurance team has continued to service the needs of our customers.
As in the past 80 years, you can count on us to be here when you need us most, when it comes to your health and the health of your family.
Let's continue making the right choices by staying home, staying safe, and staying healthy.
We are all in this together, and together we will rise again.
We are open to serve you at Cars Plus Guam. Need a quick service for your vehicle? Visit our express lane at Cars Plus. Done fast, done right. No appointment needed. Our service team is dedicated to helping you get your vehicle in and out of the shop and back on the road quickly and securely. Simply drop off your vehicle at our express lane driveway, and one of our service advisors will take care of it. Need a ride? Not to worry. We have a shuttle vehicle ready to drop you back home and pick you up when your vehicle is ready. Open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Visit us today. We are open to serve you.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back, friends. Updates to the Archdiocese of Aganis sacramental protocols have been approved by Archbishop Michael Burns. Guam Catholics will be able to receive Holy Communion as priests and most parishes celebrate Mass with attendees gathered inside their vehicles at church parking lots. The following may resume with limitation: Mass outdoors with faithful in their vehicles, as I said, confession, anointing of the sick for non-COVID patients, and baptism. You're encouraged to contact your respective parish if you'd like more information. Well, as Adelup apologizes for muting the media, CNMI Governor Ralph Torres faces similar pressures. The U.S. Press Freedom Tracker giving his administration red marks across the board for the Northern Marianas.
We must take courage and continue to play our part to fight this virus.
This Zoom call at the end of March was the last formal press conference with NMI Governor Ralph Torres related to COVID-19. The NMI is the only government of every state and territory in the nation to receive red marks across the board by the U.S. Press Freedom Tracker. There were no regular press briefings, no general press attendance, and no live questions and follow-ups. There are reports of restricted access. Press Secretary Kevin Bautista communicates with the media on a daily basis, though the governor's words are only read through press releases or heard through highly produced videos on Facebook. First, media were told that the communications team was learning how to use Zoom video conferencing before they could host daily briefings. We're now told that the governor is too busy to face the press. KUAM has offered airtime on its containing COVID-19 special report from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and a one-on-one interview. While COVID-19 cases remain low for the Commonwealth, there are increasing calls for transparency. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tomas Manglotnia.
Well, Tomas also adds that Bautista did comment on the national report, commenting, quote, "The governor and our communications team do respond to media inquiries from our on-island outlets with no restrictions." Last week, KUAM joined more than 140 media organizations signing the National Press Freedom of Information's Coalition's call for transparency from the public sector. Staying with our brothers and sisters up north, the CNMI community-based testing initiative will be temporarily suspended starting today through Sunday, that's May 10th, due to the high volume of testing and commendable turnout by CNMI residents. The CNMI COVID-19 Task Force has decided to pause the registration of persons for community testing at the Saipan International Airport to allow for a timely return of results. The task force will inform the public when community-based testing operations resume. As of the 7th, more than 2,300 people have been processed through just 11 days of testing. To the crime beat now. On Thursday, just before midnight, GPD officers responded to a home here in Dededo relative to a disturbance call. 18-year-old Anson Siren, according to reports, and another male were consuming alcohol when they got into an argument. Siren stabbed the other person in the back and then immediately fled the area. He was later picked up in the Liguan Terrace area, with the victim later treated at the site for injuries. Siren was charged with aggravated assault, use of a deadly weapon, and family violence. He was booked and confined. And to federal court, Magistrate Judge Michael Berdallo has recused himself from former Jotnia Mayor's informant Brenda Kinian's case. Yesterday, His Honor filed a disqualification order that did not include an explanation, and on the same day, Kinian was scheduled to appear in court on the 7th, yet the defense motioned for a continuance. Chief Judge Francis Tadienko Gatewood granted the request, stating for good cause in court documents, and set the hearing for mid-August. Former Mayor Jesse Blas pleaded guilty to extortion and drug trafficking, with Kinian posing as a drug trafficker, utilizing the Jotnia Mayor's issues cluster boxes. Please stay tuned, everybody, because coming up, something very special as we continue to celebrate the class of 2020.
More freedom. To learn more, to create more, to connect more. Mix and match Data Pass. Take your data further.
King's Restaurants are still cooking up your favorite breakfast, lunch, and dinner plates and have them available for carryout and delivery. Call them in Tamuning at 647-5464 or in Dedito at 637-5464 and order for carryout. For delivery, please download the free Grab and Grub app and follow the instructions to get King's delivered to your door. Be safe and stay healthy until we see each other again at King's.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Graduation is such a momentous occasion, but because of the COVID-19 crisis, the class of 2020 will not have the chance to celebrate their amazing achievement in the traditional way. Now, we continue to show our support to the entire graduating class of 2020 in a special user-generated segment with submissions from their loved ones.
And it's time once again to celebrate those graduating this year. It's your head of the class 2020. Congratulations going out to Tobias Calvo Kittigwa, St. Anthony Catholic School, graduating the 8th grade. We are beyond proud of you, Tobias. Congratulations to the entire St. Anthony Catholic School class of 2020. Also, Silao Akininok Setu from Aston, Guam, graduating from Waipahu High School in Hawaii. Also, Jason Jackson, graduating from Guam High School. Although we are navigating through uncertain times, know we are certain about how proud we are of you. We love you so much from Mom and Dad. Also, Austin J. Hoko, congratulations, graduating GW High School. Congratulations to the firstborn son and grandson of our family. We are all so very blessed and proud of the young man you've become. Continue to reach for your goal and know that we love you and support you always. Thank you for your hard work to achieve your first milestone. And Kason Jackson, also graduating from GW High School. You continue to amaze me. Thank you for being someone your brothers and others can look up to. This world is a big place. Find your spot in the world and do great things. I know you will. Your dad and I love you and are so proud of you. And that's your head of the class 2020 for today. Congratulations, everyone.
And you can watch more submissions every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on The Big Show.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
What does a brilliant cut mean to me? It means consistent quality, right across the age expressions. We never compromise on quality and flavour.
It's also the very particular cut of spirit we take to fill our barrels.
Tasting it today is just as exciting as the first time I tasted it. That is the brilliant cut.
The sun still shines when you're on Guam, especially when it's your birthday. For May 8th, we say happy birthday to Hannah Gogui. Happy birthday to our beautiful baller. May God bless and protect you. Happy 18th birthday to Jonathan Denzel from your family. Happy birthday, Mom, otherwise known as Dory Fernandez. You are getting birthday love today. Happy birthday number 1 to Bryce Guerrero. We love you and wish you the only best today. Love always, Nana Papa and your family and friends. Linda Villagomez has birthday number 72, and from your entire clan, we love you, Mom, Grandma, and Great-Grandma. Many more to come. Happy 80th birthday to Grandma Lupe Cordero. Guadalupe gets God's blessings with many, many more birthdays to come. We love you so much, says the entire family. And Tatiana Haley Pablo, happy birthday number 11. We love you from your adoring family. Registration for the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club is super easy and membership is super free, and the entire program basically is super awesome. So make sure to hit the birthdays link on KUAM.com and register, because you could win a Cold Stone Creamery birthday cake just like this week's winner, who is born on May the 4th, Micah. So Micah, we're very happy to make you and your family extra happy on this very unique birthday. We'll be in touch to let you know how you can get your cake, and be safe for doing so. All right, everybody, Live Local Friday Home Edition starts now.
Today, Chris Barnett. I hope you guys are ready for another Stay Home edition of Live Local Fridays. We've had so many great performances from so many great musicians and local artists.